Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Um, Shiki says, "Why the fuck is the women's Fortnite tournament called the Milk Cup?"
What?
Why the fuck, indeed? That's news for me. I was not aware of the Milk Cup or what it was referred to.
Yeah.
That was your ad. Your ad was for the Milk Cup. Okay.
Pete's in the summertime era where he's bald above his eyeballs because he loses his winter coat.
Adorable.
Yeah. He's got a receding hairline.
Just like me.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning,
No,
Snoopy. Okay. Congrats on first. Good morning, Vince. Good morning, Shiki. Thank you for bringing that cursed knowledge to the table, Shiki. We appreciate it.
Okay. Pick a lane, bro, because you're not hopping up on the desk again.
Yeah,
No.
you've absolutely destroyed your mom's mic stand.
Yeah.
You're just hanging on by the thinnest of threads now at this point.
A little butt. Oh, he wants to go to the window to talk to his birdie friends.
Shiki says Elvis is also bald between his eyes and his ears, and he's just cute.
First, I thought you were talking about Elvis, like.
No, their outdoor cat is Elvis.
I know, but my brain was like, Elvis Presley?
Yeah, like he's bald everywhere now.
Because he's dead?
Because he's dead. He's long dead.
Oh.
Which is good, because he was a groomer and shouldn't be a celebrated piece of culture history the way he is.
I always thought it was weird, because, like, even when I was a little kid, my grandma was like, Elvis Presley's wife was 15 or 14 or however old she was. And I was like, that's weird, Grandma. And she's like, but he's so great. He's such a great musician. I'm like, I guess, but can we circle back around to the, like, he married a 14-year-old, perhaps?
To the grooming bits?
Yeah,
can we circle back around to that?
Okay, Grandma.
Yeah, no, Shiki says I have no interest in the human Elvis. He was terrible, yeah.
He was an icky man.
Well, and I don't know enough about it, but, like, you know, when I was a kid, he was just everywhere. Everything was just, like, you know, the greatest cultural figure we've ever had, Elvis, right? Like, it was, like, treated like motherfucker was Shakespeare, but, like, Shakespeare that lived recently, and everyone's just, like, the greatest thing ever, and it's, like, I don't know enough about these things. It seems like a lot of what he did was probably just, like, co-opted, like, hey, well, let's have a white musician sing this stuff music, as opposed to Jeff, you're about half the volume of Lena and her audio is peaking again. Okay. I will do my best to fix it. I can turn me up and I can turn her down a little bit.
He's like, I'm gonna destroy your
life.
Polaroid. Yeah, no, not my.
Just your Polaroid and your okay. But yeah, I spent basically the entire weekend trying my hardest to do nothing but play Expedition 33. That game is phenomenal.
Very good. I kept sitting down because I was watching him play it, and then I was like trying to do chores, and then I kept getting sucked in.
Yeah.
With the story.
It's very good. It's basically the structure is all Final Fantasy X. Like in like how the battle system works with the added addition of like every dodge and parry is real time, even though it's a turn-based game. So each enemy has like Elder Scrolls or Dark Souls type moves that they're coming at with you. Turn-based, so you know they're coming when they're coming, but then can you time the dodge perfectly? And every battle is possible to go into and like not get hit at all. But that's on you. And then it's still turn-based. It's a really neat battle system. I like it a lot. And then the story is silly and sad and beautiful, which is like pretty much sums up all the things I enjoy in life. Mike says, FF10, I'm in. Yeah, it's very good.
No, Pete, oh my god, don't eat my Adderall. What's wrong with you?
Vince says that's the new turn-based one. Yeah, it's very cool.
This morning. No, pee.
Now he's eating a marker?
He just wants to knock things down. He's feeling feisty.
Okay. Why did he choose violence? Shiki says about Elvis, yeah, my aunt was obsessed with him. She almost gave her daughter his last name. Why? What was the grip that Elvis had on boomers? I don't understand, because it's like there is 1950s and 1960s music that's better than Elvis. By significant margins.
I was blinding you guys with this mirror. Oh my god, I didn't know that was there. I was like, what is that like? It was like a...
That might have made it worse.
Huh?
With the light. Also, we don't seem to be like...
What is that then?
I don't know. We don't seem to be rotating cameras anymore, so I'll fix that too.
What is that?
Vince says my grandma loved him too.
There's something like really shiny. Like reflecting and like...
Oh, it's your Kirby thing.
Hmm?
It's this.
Oh.
It's your Kirby star. It's capturing all the light. You gotta look at this camera. As the
oh god, no, I see it from just sitting here. It's definitely reflecting the light.
Vincent, my grandma loved him too. Mike says Elvis was a karaoke singer at best. Yeah, he wasn't good. I mean, he wasn't bad either. And it's like when his stuff is like utilized real well in movies and stuff, I'm like, oh cool, an Elvis song. Like, but I'm never not like, oh my god, an Elvis song. Like, it's never.
I think if he wasn't a weirdo, I would be like, sure, whatever. Like his music, cool. But like, cause he's a weirdo, I'm just like, that kind of like adds negative points.
Well, he's also a dude who got like wildly out of shape, which is fine, but like was a drunkard who died on a toilet. Like, it's like, it was so weird that he had this legacy of like, oh, greatest musician of all time. How'd he go out?
I mean,
motherfucker died on a toilet, drunk off his ass like he was the past like 2 to 3 decades of his life. Shiki says they grew up in the era of news is the law, and he was the king of rock and roll, and she just kept on with it. I watched so many of his movies when I was a kid. They made me go to an Elvis impersonator. Mike says that Elvis stole so much from R&B charts at the time. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, he's just like repackaged for white people. Shiki said, oh gross, he's a weirdo, a pervert, a liar, and a thief. Yes.
I'm gonna move my Dr. Pepper.
And his music's just fine. Mike says, died eating a burger on the toilet. What a legend. I mean, it's a good way to go. It's solid.
I would not eat a burger on the toilet.
You would not eat a burger on the toilet? Have you ever eaten on the toilet?
Once when I was drunk and I had to pee really bad, I had like a Kit Kat or something in my hand. And I was like, well, I haven't touched the toilet yet.
Yeah.
The Kit Kat's in my hand. My pants are down. I haven't touched anything.
Mm-hmm.
Icky. So I finished my Kit Kat. And then I peed. And then I got up and washed my hands. Like,
yeah, I'm not proud of it. I'm someone that at my worst slobbiness and hedonistic.
I've just been like, I have
really
contamination issues. So if something has touched something, like if my hand has even brushed anything in the bathroom,
mm-hmm.
I don't want to eat food. I think that might be just a smidgen of OCD, but
I sometimes struggle with like when you get out of the movie theater and you have like leftover popcorn or leftover drink, and you're like, I need to carry this with me, but I have to pee.
Just put it on the sink.
Yeah, so you bring it in the bathroom, you set it on the sink, but some people can't do that at all. They're like, it's entered the bathroom, the public
like
bathroom.
Dirty air in the bathroom
yes.
or something. I guess that makes sense.
Shiki said I have a couple times, usually high as fuck. Mike says it's the only place I eat. Now it's just a matter of time till this is super efficient.
Well, you scared Pancake. She's on edge this morning for some reason.
She wanted to just... Everyone slept in yesterday, and she was, like, at peace, and then everyone got up today. She's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I
even slept in this morning.
You did. It was a rough... I had to wake everybody up twice today.
Yeah.
And I meet everybody. Everybody got like a... Hey! I already woke you up once. It's now at this time. We gotta get going. Cheeky says public bathrooms are just full of other people's aerosol bodily functions. I would not bring food into a public bathroom.
That's fair. If we have the kids, we usually make them hold popcorn.
Yeah, I'll be like, here, hold this, and then...
Or you'll make me do it. And then I'm holding like 2 things of popcorn and a drink. And they took away the bench that's over by the...
There's no bench there?
No, it's now a butter stand for popcorn.
It's a butter stand?
They took away my bench.
I miss that bench.
Me too, because I used to sit there and wait for you and the children, and now I just have to stand. Oh my god, I had this really weird interaction at the movie theater where some little teenage boy came up to me and was like, do you want to smell my cologne? And I was like, no. And he's like, oh, come on, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. And then he ran away. Like, he literally ran. It was so weird. I think he was like dared to do it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I will not accept any other possibility.
It's either that or he's a cologne sniffing enthusiast or something.
Or I was trying to be trafficked or something.
I don't know.
Like,
that's
smell
like
this
step
cologne
one.
Sounds like smell this. No, I'm serious.
Smell this rag. Smell this cologne in this rag. You're like, okay.
I did not. Thank you. I was.
That's what happens. There's no bench, so you can sit on the bench. So that now you're just being verbally assaulted by teenagers.
Like,
yeah,
I never got verbally assaulted on the bench. I sat on the bench, and I had to stand against like the railing thing over by the bar. I think.
Like you're asking for it.
No.
That is a bummer about the bench, though. I don't understand.
I'm sad.
I didn't notice that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You don't really pick up on things that change.
Until probably. I went in. We saw the movie. I went in to use the bathroom, and when I came out, you probably would have been like, "There's no bench." That was like what was going to be said, but instead you had to be like,
"There was a random boy that tried to get me to smell cologne." It was just funny because he literally like ran away after like he wasn't like, oh, okay, and then walked away. He like ran, but like cartoonishly. Weird.
Mike said, you didn't ask, but my lunch today was a toasted bagel with tuna, mayo with cucumber, and cheese with crispy onions, and a drizzle of hoisin sauce. That sounds delicious.
Really good. I'm hungry now.
I've been hungry today.
I got up and immediately opened a little miniature bag of Lay's and was just like shoving them into my face as we did school drop off.
Yeah. The super late school drop off. I thought we were going to have to sign kids in, which is always my least favorite. When you pull up and it's like 8:01 and school starts at 8 and like everyone's there. They like literally just stopped doing the drop off thing, but they're like, you have to sign her in.
I just like, no. I don't want to. There was one time where I thought like Hunter would get in trouble if like I didn't, and so I was like, oh, I'll just go inside and do it. And then I found out later like they don't even like care if you do or don't. It's just like the person that's doing the opening of the door in the morning, like they get some kind of weird high, and they're like, I'm gonna make
weird power trip.
Yeah,
about,
I'm gonna
like,
make you sign this kid in, and I'm like, no.
Like, what's gonna happen if I drive off? You're gonna
be
like, you can't learn today, kid. Your parent never signed you in. And it's always like it happens when I'm like in like pajama pants and like shoes on, no socks. Once. Yeah.
And they were like, come in and sign them in, and I was like, no.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I'm not doing it. And then they made me do it anyway. And I walked in, and there was this little boy in there, like waiting to be let in too. And he was just like, I like your hair. And I'm like, thank you. It's not done yet.
We don't just talk about random boys complimenting Selena's hair or asking for her to sniff their cologne on this show. We also cover all the news you nerd in a whole segment we like to call the Daily Quack.
I didn't even realize I didn't have phones on. Yeah, can you turn that down just a tad bit?
I try to. It's down all the way. I don't know why.
What is happening?
I don't know.
What did you do?
What did I do?
Yeah, what you do?
I don't know. Also, I don't know why it cut off that early. Yeah, Expedition 33. Expedition 33 passes huge sales milestone, and that's not even the full story of its success. This is from Eddie McCook over at GameSpot. Who says, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33.
What is Claire Obscure? Like,
I don't know.
Is it going to be like a series of games or like a...
I don't. So the game is very French in ways that, in all sorts of ways. And it's an FRPG, I guess, instead of a JRPG. It is very much a French role. It's like a French take on Final Fantasy X. I guess. But like with its own original story that is like really cool. The idea, there's this like, all you know at the start of the game is you're in a world that used to look like our world, but for some portion of time, once a year, some like big giant lady that they call the Paintress comes out and changes a number down from like 30 30 at the start of the game. It changes down from 34 to 33, and then everybody that is above that age dies, and it's been counting down for some time. And so you're on Expedition 33, which is like an expedition of a bunch of the 33-year-olds.
Wouldn't eventually the whole human race just die off?
Correct.
So it's like there must be a way people skip it, but if it's been going on for years and years, like...
Yeah. And that's what, when you find the early expeditions, they're like less desperate because there's some people that are like, yeah, it's fine. When you find like their notes and stuff, but like...
Wouldn't there be nobody over the age of 33 that's alive then?
Correct.
That's inaccurate. I seen people walking around in the beginning of the game that were older.
No, there were not that were older. The design might lend you to think that they are or something, but like in the canon of that world, no one is supposed to be over the age of 34 at the start of that game, and then after that happens, no one's supposed to be over the age of 33.
Can I help you? Pancake's just out there wailing at everybody.
Mike says most people call her Weird Claire.
Hi, honey, come here. Listen, beautiful.
Yeah, so I don't know what the Claire Obscure part of that title means. The game is very French, and I have no idea what's going on, and that's like part of the appeal. Is it's like it's very intriguing and good, and you can tell it's just like sad and dark. And the game is full of mystery, and we'll see how the mysteries pay off over the course of the game. But like right now, it's just like the sense of mystery is all just like very, very good for it.
Hey, honey, did you miss your dad? Looking for him, yeah.
Claire Obscure Expedition.
Or did you miss me?
Probably you.
Oh God, no! Hey, stop! Don't do that. No.
You don't want them sniffing butts on
Not really.
on live
it's just
internet.
Not the kind of behavior I want to be like. Yes. At least not while I'm sitting right here. Like y'all can do that behind closed doors, but
he really wants to sniff her butt.
Stop! Ow! He just bit me. Dude, it's not that big of a deal. I promise you, there'll be enough butt to sniff later.
Mike says it's not far off, really. I'm 36 and I feel dead. I feel that at 2 years older. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 developer Sandfall Interactive has announced that the game has already sold 500,000 copies just after launch. In a social media post, the studio said the game reached this sales milestone sooner than we've ever imagined. Expedition 33 is also on Game Pass, and presumably 500,000 figure does not include people playing via the subscription service. Expedition 33 is the number 2 best-selling game on Steam right now, only behind Oblivion Remastered, and it's reached more than 70,000 concurrent players. The game is also on PS5. Some industry observers theorize that Expedition 33 might have had its lunch eaten by Oblivion Remastered, as it surprise launched just 2 days before Expedition 33. Both are Game Pass titles, but clearly there's enough room for multiple success stories this week. Both Bethesda and Sandfall shared congratulatory messages with each other regarding their respective game launches this week. Expedition 33 was developed by a core team of around 30 people at Sandfall. I truly believe that 5 or 6 years ago, it would have been impossible for a team of our size to make this. Creative director Guillaume Broche told PC Gamer of the studio's use of Epic's Unreal Engine 5. GameSpot's review scored the game a 9 out of 10, with Richard Winkling writing, "There are minor pitfalls in relation to its narrow exploration and some quality of life issues, but these missteps aren't enough to significantly detract from a game with all the makings of an RPG classic." I've not butted up against anything yet that I've been like, ugh, this could be better. Like, that's not... I've just been, like, having a great time with it. Sam says that was a weird sentence to come into. What sentence did you come into? Also, good morning.
Probably something to do with Pete sniffing pancakes booty.
Something along those lines, yeah.
I would assume. Because that's the only weird sentence that I said. I don't know if you're over there saying weird sentences. I'm not paying attention. Was petting Pancake. She was like allowing it, and then she turned around the other way, so it's just like, okay, I guess you don't want me to pet you.
There was like a couple squirrels that were like right up on that like tree, like down at the bottom, and then there's also that bunny that lives right there. So
we have a bunny in our yard, and like, it's the first time that rabbits have been in our yard, I think, since Buddy's been gone.
Yeah.
Because, like, even when he was just an inside cat, there hadn't been bunnies yet. There was a bunch of squirrels, but not bunnies.
Yeah, because there was no life in our yard for years.
And then there's this bunny that's, like, all too chill with humans. Like, literally, I walked right up to it, and I didn't, like, touch it or anything. I got close, but I wasn't, like, gonna pick it up. And then I just went inside. But, like, it's just been chilling in our yard.
Mike said, "Hey, we're all friends here, Sam, about the smelling butts." Okay.
Good.
Selena, I've got great news.
What?
We can all finally play 2006 flip phone exclusive Monster Hunter port thanks to the tireless work of game preservationists and fan translators.
Cool. I don't know why I got exasperated with the first part of that sentence. I think just the 2006 flip phone, like, what
was that?
I don't know. I'm having a stroke.
Can't say
flip phone.
Flip phone.
I had a flip phone when I was little. I really wanted a Motorola Razr.
Yeah.
A pink one.
Yeah, those were the cool ones at the time.
Yeah, I got this little, like, silver phone. I lost it, like, pretty early on. But, like, it was cool. I could only call people and somewhat text from it.
Well, because to text anyone, you had to be like, A, B, like, you had to, like, hit multiple.
Yeah.
Mike says, I used to have a Razr. Yeah, they were the shit back in the day.
They have, like, newer ones now that are, like, actually really cool.
That are, like, full S flip phones and stuff?
I think so, but they're also, like, smartphones.
Oh, weird.
They just flip.
Mike says it had enough storage for a single song on.
I had a green, like, BlackBerry ripoff. It was like It looked like a BlackBerry phone, like the little
with
one.
the little keyboard.
Yeah, like the actual, like you could type from keyboard instead of you have to type in the numbers. They actually had like.
I'm so nostalgic for like the phones with the mechanical keyboards. Like that's my favorite. Like we've realized texting is a thing. We haven't really done the touchscreen keyboard thing yet. Because I had one that had like the little pop out, slide out keyboard. So like you could like have it as a phone like this, and it was small, but then the keyboard like popped out, and then you could sit and text on it. Shiki said, update to my AI game issue. Keymailer said that it won't be too much of an adverse effect on my account, and that I should just message the devs about it. So I did, and now I don't have to cover the game. That's awesome.
Nice.
Congrats. Sorry that's a thing that you had to navigate. That itself is silly and weird that...
Pancake's so funny. Like, Pete was sitting by the window, and Pancake's like, I'm gonna sit by the window. And now Pete moved over to the bed, and Pancake's like, I have to move over to the bed.
Yeah.
She just, like, follows him around. It's really cute. Except she's not, like, snuggling him. She's just, like, sitting, like, opposite to him, but she's, like, happily just like, yeah. I'm, like, a foot away from Pete.
She said, I had a Nokia brick for a long time, and then I got one of those slider phones. I missed them so much. Vince says, I remember having a slider, and then I broke it and kept it and literally rubber banded it together for a while. Sam said, fuck AI.
The Moto Razr is like it's a flip phone, but it's also a touchscreen.
Oh, okay. I just want like one of those old school flip phones, I think.
I almost got one of them fold phones. Like the fold. It just scared me too much. I was like, this is gonna break. I know it's gonna break. I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna go to flip it and just snap it in half. Like, I don't trust myself enough, but...
Shiki said to Vince, OMG, I knew someone in school who had their phone rubber banded together, so it wasn't just Vince. Sam says, well, the devs' loophole, XL or not, was that they didn't use AI for the game, just the promotional stuff. That's... my only time I would have, like, sympathy with that is if, like, if they use, like, a third-party client for their marketing and promotional stuff, and the third-party client used it and they had no idea. Like, there are people out there that just that are completely insulated from this conversation, and when you tell them people don't like AI stuff, they have no idea. And a lot of them work in marketing departments and
I was
stuff.
gonna say, I don't know how that's possible, but I bet if I had, like, asked my grandma what she thought about AI, she would just be like, I don't know what that is. Like...
Right, and if you work in a department that's like, look at this new thing that's going to make your life easier, and no one's sat you down and had the conversations.
I feel like it's just out there if you're on the internet, though.
But they're not on the internet.
But they're in marketing. How are they not on the internet?
They're in different pockets of the internet than us, though, too.
I guess.
That happens all the time. It's like it's why elections go the way they do and stuff, is like people live in entirely different worlds than we do. And they're getting entirely different information.
I guess that makes sense. Sam said, no offense to grandma, but she is very likely the generation that thinks AI shit is real. Yep. Oh, 100%. I'm, like, low-key every day sort of thankful that she doesn't use social media. My grandma is, like, I don't want to say, like, gullible. She's not, but, like...
And she's landed in some somewhat decent ways, because the stuff she does
I don't have to, like, sit her down and be like, Grandma, the stuff on Fox News, like... they're lying to you. She's able to kind of discern things, but at the same time, she doesn't spend much time on the internet at all. To the point where they were like, we went to go get our eyes checked, and they were like, do you want the blue light, like lens filter, whatever you want to call it? Not a blue light filter. It's called something else, but I can't think of it right now. I got it for my glasses because I'm in front of screens all the time. But my grandma was like, I don't know. I don't want that because I'm not going to use it because I'm literally not ever in front of a computer usually.
Yeah.
She's like,
or a phone or
Yeah.
anything.
She has a landline, and she watches TV sometimes.
Yeah. He said blue blockers. That sounds dirty, and I don't know why.
How does that sound dirty?
Shiki also said it sucks because their game looks okay, but you could have just put up their logo in the banner until they can make the new banners, or take screenshots in game and clean it up and make a banner. There's so many ways to do it.
Yeah, and resorting to that.
She said again, she's from the generation where they had one news source and no one questioned it. Yeah, was like we're just lucky that her news source is like MSNBC or something. CNN. Okay.
Yeah, usually.
So it's like that's where she's landed.
So that lady with short hair, she really likes
Rachel Maddow?
Yeah.
That's MSNBC.
Yeah, she loves Rachel Maddow.
Yeah. But that in itself is like its own version of that. It's just happens to be, a little bit better and on our side, because there's still times where she'll get going on something and you'll be like, I don't know that this is something
accurate information
or something that you need to stress about in your day-to-day life, Grandma. Like, this is not a thing that's affecting you.
Yeah.
Or anyone that you know or love or care about. Whereas some stuff that does, you realize it's not getting to her informationally. So
I love my grandma so much. She's very much like the generation of like a lot of the mental illness and things like that these days are overplayed, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe not overplayed, but like she doesn't quite understand.
Yeah.
Like the reach of like
generational trauma.
No, like what? Like I could say I have anxiety, and she'd be like, "Oh, so you're like nervous sometimes?" Or we all have a little anxiety. I'm like, "No, Grandma, I don't think you understand." Like, I wake up and I'm like freaking out for literally no reason, and I have to go like throw up for no reason. Like I'm being hunted for sport, and then I'm like that for about an hour, and then I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like she's like, "Oh. Yeah, I don't know. That's not normal." I'm like, "No, Grandma, that's what I'm talking about." Like,
Mike says, "I love though we never had this ADHD autism back."
Oh my god, I get into that with her all the time. Again, love her, but like, she's like, "I just don't think that like when people had autism, like they just couldn't function." I'm like, "No, there's like different spectrums to it, and we've learned more over time." And she's like, well, I don't know. Like, because I was talking to her about diagnoses. I don't know how to say that word. And she'd be like, "I just didn't see that in you, and like I didn't see these things in you." And I'm like, I also didn't expect you to, but like, just because you personally didn't see it. And also, she is the kind of lady that has like a lot of very weirdly specific like routines and like little patterns.
We didn't have autism back in my day, but like you break up that routine the littlest bit.
My grandpa had a chair that nobody else was allowed to sit in except me, and that was even like I could tell he'd get twitchy when I would sit in his chair, but I was like a little angel, so I was his grandchild, so he was not going to be like, "No, toddler, you can't sit in my giant recliner," like, because he knew that would make me sad. But I could tell he'd like look over and be like, "She's not spilling stuff on my chair, is she?"
Shiki says people hid their autistic children or called them gifted until they could get rid of them.
Yeah.
Sam said back in your day they did awful things to children.
Yep.
Shiki also said this to we never had ADHD autism. Like, we all have anxiety, and some people are a little weird, but that's also made up. Like, no, it's not. Yeah.
No.
It's a very weird...
Makes me sad, because it's like like I said, I'm sure my grandma struggled with her own stuff when she was younger, and like, the idea that like her parents didn't like help her makes me really sad, because like, then in turn, like, if she had any issues, like, she didn't get the help that she needed, and
Yeah, well, and I come from a long line of people that are mentally not well, but the first generation that, like, me and all my cousins, you could tell our approach to it is very much like, okay, we're going to get the help and the care that we need. And we're going to approach this from the perspective of, like, we need help and care, and not, like, having, like, some weird ego about, like, needing help and care. Like, that's the weirdest, hardest thing for me. The, like, people that are like, I don't need therapy. I don't even... They're, like, aggressively against it.
If you need therapy. I think everyone could benefit from a little sprinkle of it.
Mike says, sat there with her high sense on morals and inability to maintain eye contact.
Yup.
Yeah, I unraveled because of a cereal box this week, so, like, I get it. And
we were in Walmart, and they changed the color of the frosted wheats, the, like, Great Value frosted wheats, from, like, a light orange to a dark orange, but they still had the light orange boxes available next to the dark orange boxes. And there was no difference in, I'm assuming, otherwise appearance. I'm sure you were pointing out there's a difference in other things. But
I don't know. That's what it was like. It made me think about it all too much. And, like, what about production changed this color? And, like, which one do I trust? Which one do I not trust?
Because at first I was like, oh, maybe these ones are just, like, sun bleached or whatever. Because they've been sitting in the sun in the cart or whatever, like a truck. And I was like, no, these are, like, the like label and the lettering was the same color. It was just like the background was a different orange. And I was like, what? And you were like, I don't want these anymore. I'm getting the strawberry ones instead. I was like, okay.
Sam says there was also straight up eugenics, though. Yeah. Not to mention Tarzan obsessed dude. I need more
like
context
Tarzan.
for that.
I don't know that I would consider myself obsessed, but I like Tarzan.
It's always an interesting film that came up the other day. I was going through every film that came out in 1999, and, like, I was square in the, like, I'm too old and cool for this stupid Tarzan movie, and it's such a, like, seminal film for you.
It is. It's very good.
Not to mention also...
Why are you glaring at me? She's glaring at me.
Yeah, she does that. We can finally play 2006 flip phone exclusive Monster Hunter port thanks to the tireless work of game preservationists and fan translators. This is Lincoln Carpenter over at PC Gamer, who says, despite being a devoted Monster Hunter sicko for well over a decade now, even I didn't know about Monster Hunter I, and for good reason. The 2006 port of Monster Hunter G wasn't just a Japan-only release, it was a Kitai game released exclusively for early 2000s Japanese cell phones. It was Monster Hunter's first game for mobile phones, and until last month it was believed to be lost to history. As you might expect for games whose natural habitat was an early 2000s flip phone, preserving Kitai games is a complicated process of recovering and decrypting software from decaying handset hardware. As game preservationist Roxman Cosmo wrote for HitSave in 2022, Kitai preservation is one of the most difficult sections of video game preservation due to its obscurity, regional concentration, and lack of documentation.
Our tree.
The flowers are going?
Yeah. It's shedding.
It was bound to happen soon.
Literally, that tree only lasts for like 4 days, and then...
The flowers. It's about a week or 2 weeks, usually.
No, it's not. It was, well, maybe a week.
Yeah, it was like a week or 2 weeks ago when I posted that picture of you with it when it was first blooming.
I don't know. Maybe.
Like many Kitai games, Monster Hunter I was assumed to be unsalvageable. Initially released on iMode phones, the Monster Hunter G port was split into 3 separate apps that each comprised 2 of the game's 6 quest regions, and it required a monthly subscription. A later version that unified those apps and did away with the monthly fee came pre-installed on Sharp phones, a practice that I believe would heal today's society if it was replicated on every iPhone and Android device. After years of MHI languishing on those few surviving devices, preservationist XYZ, working alongside the community of Kitai specialists at Kitai Wiki, finally solved the mystery of how to dump the Entomb software just last month, liberating a piece of Monster Hunter history in the process. Unfortunately, the preserved version of MHI lacked the online functionality necessary for some features, as basic as weapon and equipment switching, which relied on assets downloaded from Capcom servers. Thankfully, the Katai Wiki community was able to rig a private server to host extracted assets from surviving phone saves, and is even working to recreate lost models and textures. And within the last week, the preserved Monster Hunter I is even playable in English thanks to a full fan translation patch from the translations Grender and Eureka. As for how playable it is, I mean, it's a game that was designed for the finest mobile phones of the year of our Lord 2006. You can get a sense of how Monster Hunter I handles in the YouTube video from Lex, embedded above. Surprisingly, it plays pretty stiff, and only Sword and Shield and Greatsword animations were recovered in a playable state. Particularly upsetting is the lack of multiplayer, given how Monster Hunters become synonymous with cooperative creature killing. Sam says, posted a link. Oh, about
The
Sheik
Tarzan
said,
thing.
this guy raised a chimpanzee alongside his child, which absolutely destroyed the human child's development. That's a full-on documentary, so you can tab it for later, but before we had codes of ethics, a guy raised a child alongside a baby chimp just to see how accurate Tarzan was or some shit. That's depressing. I will leave that for later, Jeff, to get depressed about. I said pause. Thank you. Snoopy says, I've heard Monster Hunter games were good, but I've never played any of them. Same here. Mike says start with Worlds. Maybe
Is Worlds the one that came out like 5 years ago? 6 years ago?
Couldn't tell you.
7 years ago? I don't know.
Maybe you should start
I was a mobile phone game
with
based
this.
on Monster Hunter G, released in Japan in 2006.
It's just why
Originally, the
game
was
preservation
split
is so
across
important.
friends,
It's
which
so
covered
wildly
the different
important,
fields you could
and it's
explore,
like
and had a
I'm pretty passionate about it, but I love when we read a whole article and it's just like, oh my god, so much work put into saving this, and you look at it.
with certain models of sharp phones. Monster Hunter I for SH,
Aw,
offering
they look like
a few
raptors.
less features,
They do look
but
like
having
raptors.
all fields accessible in one app, and not requiring subscription. It was the first Monster Hunter game ever made for
There you
mobile
go.
phones,
Oh, yeah, they
but
are
for the
actual.
longest time
They
was
look like
doomed
dinosaurs.
to wallow in obscurity and die out with the aging hardware it was made for.
Well, some of them do.
We're obviously not going to watch all 20 minutes of that, but that's cool.
That is really cool.
That's really neat that they found that and saved it. Mike says, thank God they saved that. If the players own the game, they'll make it fantastic. Larian CEO Sven Vink doubles down on defense of Baldur's Gate 3 Stardew Valley mod and the modding community overall. This is from Steve Bonifield over at PC Gamer, who says Sven Vink has once again proven himself to be a friend of Baldur's Gate 3 modders and the wider modding community, doubling down on his defense of mods in a recent GameSpot interview, and even advocating for modding as a core part of sustaining games long term. Speaking with GameSpot's Timur Hussein, Vink was asked about the Baldur's Village Stardew Valley mod that was briefly removed by Wizards of the Coast, only for Vink to come to its defense. The controversy over the mod and Wizards of the Coast's position on it raised questions about what is and isn't fair game when it comes to modding. Vink's position is pretty clear, though. As a company that owns IP, it's perfectly possible to give somebody a license. So you just say, hey, I think what you're doing is really cool. Here's a license, and that solves it. I think that's what's done in this case, so it's the easiest way of dealing with it. Of course, as Vink clarified, things get more complicated if someone is trying to monetarily benefit from a mod, but as long as it's clearly fan-based, it's fair game. If anything, Vink seems to see mods as vital for sustaining games long after development is complete, and even as a means of promoting games. If you're a company, especially in games or any entertainment field, and you have a group of people that spend spends I don't know how much time creating something in honor of the game, says Finn, especially in another game, I think you should applaud that. I think that's pretty reasonable. I think that's a reasonable take. It's wild that, I've lived 38 years now, and it's been this constant thing of like corporations constantly having the complete opposite take, and people having to pull people aside and be like, hey, hey, stop when people make fan art of us or fan mods or fan stuff like that. You want that. That's a good sign.
I've been a little confused by the ethics of fan art, I guess you could say, because there was a while where I went to a not local, but like local-ish con, and they had a big old rigmarole about how, like, they would not allow fan art in the artist alley.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a thing anymore, because I see a lot of fan art in the artist alley.
Yeah.
Of a lot of different cons. But there was a stance they were taking for a while where, like, fan art was not allowed because you were monetarily gaining from someone else's creative IP. Yeah.
So, like, it's definitely a weird, and it's working and selling comic books. It's weird because I'm in a lot of retailer groups, and there are definitely some retailer hall monitors that if anybody uses like any kind of like advertising, even that, like, hey, I put a picture of Batman up to advertise Free Comic Book Day, and it's not like,
they're like, oh my god, that's not your,
and they'll like try to report you to DC and stuff. They're like hall monitors where they're just like, this is not DC approved advertising, this is not but especially they'll get that way if they find out a store is like selling any kind of like shirts or anything that is not an official DC merchandise, right? Because they're playing by the rules, so like you should have to too. And
like yeah, if you're like taking an image of like someone's cover or like whatever, like I've used a David Nakayama like one that he uploaded to his Instagram or like to another website. And obviously I'm crediting David Nakayama. I'm not like, I drew this for this advertisement. Like, that would be a problem if I was like, yes, I made this advertisement, also I drew it. Or even, I think it's important to just credit the artist. Even if you think like someone's going to know who the artist is already, there's no need. Just be in the bottom corner. Just be like, art by blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just, that's not hard to me. But like, again, I was confused by when the con was like, no, don't sell fan art in our artist alley. I was like, but why? But again, I don't, sometimes my brain doesn't
those
really.
Are two different conversations, right? Because we started talking about like an artist created something, and then we're talking about like repurpose, like an artist made.
No, I know.
Right. But it's like, it's one thing on that end. If you're an artist creating something, it's a complete other thing. And it's like, if you draw a picture of Batman and it's a really cool picture of Batman, I think you should have full rights to sell that. I think that's always like really silly. Or if you're baking cakes and you make a Batman cake, I think you should be able to sell that. And I think that's really silly. I think
you actually, Etsy is a really difficult platform with that kind of thing too, because like if you do anything, sometimes like if you put anything in the title or description, if it's based off of like a thing, like a Nintendo thing, like for a while I had Animal Crossing like shakers that I made or Pokemon, you can't directly post about it or Nintendo might take it down because of copyright.
Well, and this is my opinion, which people don't have to share. And my opinion is, if a thing is owned by a singular person, like if like Shiki writes a novel and then you're making art and profiting off of it without talking to Shiki about it, I think that should get shut the fuck down.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna let corporations own all this shit, fuck them. There's no world in which I think a corporation should win over a localish artist or like someone making something.
Yeah.
And that's my line. And it's like, I think it should be different rules for when, if we're gonna, I'm skeptical on whether or not a corporation should ever be able to own anything like IP. But if we're gonna say that they can, there have to be different rules than when a human does.
Meg says I have a picture of Danny DeVito as a mermaid, and if that's not art, then I don't know what it is. There is a photo of me out there somewhere on the internet. I don't know where, but I went to a con once, and we were walking back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And I was dressed as like a bunny suit version of 02 from Darling in the Franxx. And there was this guy underneath. This sounds really shady, and it's not.
Okay.
Because the bridge we were under was like a big...
Did he ask you riddles free?
He had a Danny DeVito cutout mask and a Danny DeVito cutout cardboard. And he was like, will you put this Danny DeVito mask on so I can take a picture next to the Danny DeVito cardboard cutout? And I was like, yeah, sure. I wasn't alone, by the way. I was fine. It's okay. And the guy posted it on social media. It's out there somewhere. I don't know where it is, but it was one of the most interesting like con experiences I've ever had, because like I just think if we would have picked a different way to go walk back to the hotel,
yeah, you wouldn't have had that.
Yeah, there wouldn't have been a man underneath a bridge telling me to put on a Danny DeVito mask so he could take a picture next to his cutout.
Valerian said, I'm so happy for Sandfall, the small team of devs, and the huge positive recognition for Expedition 33. It's an amazing game. I was worried for it being brand new that it couldn't run on my old poor performing rig, but surprisingly I can enjoy it at medium-low settings from around 30 to 40 frames per second all around. Such a win. I'm so glad for them, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. They deserve all the recognition they're getting, in my opinion. What do you guys think? I would like to be playing that game right now, is what I think.
Jeff is obsessed.
I am, and it was like, I thought with Oblivion Remastered, I was like, oh man, I was going to play that 33 game. I saw Nick's playing it too, and I'm like, this game looks really good. I don't know. And then I was like, I should just try. I'll try it a little bit, and then I'll be right back to Oblivion, and no.
Nope, it's taken up all of the gaming.
All the gaming, all
slots.
of the spoons. And then yesterday, all day, I was just like, I just want to be playing this game. And then Selena was like, what if I play some crime scene cleanup? And I was like, that's great, sweetheart. That's wonderful. You have a good time. In my head, I was like, I just want to be playing.
I felt bad, but like at the same time, we didn't have a whole lot of time between that and like, I think dinner. It was like one of those like 30-minute slots between dinner and something else. And I was like, well, if like Jeff starts playing that game now, he's not going to want to stop playing it. So I'll just play this weird crime scene cleanup game.
Yeah. Which,
by the way, is weirdly fun, but I still haven't decided if it's like not problematic, but just kind of like what.
I mean, it's inherently that's the appeal of the game, is that it's like
you're like a mob cleanup dude that like cleans up crime scenes
so that people can't figure out there was a murder. But it's basically Power Wash Simulator
it's
with
a house
stakes.
flipper almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess is Power Wash Simulator like, do you have to like redo the furniture and stuff? Because that's what you have to do in the crime game. You have to like put the house back the way it was. And
yeah. Sam says Jeff keeps DMing me about it, trying to make me get it. I feel like if I don't buy it soon, he's just going to send it to me. In a world where I wasn't as povertous as I am currently, it would have already happened. Also, just because it's like I want to support the studio because it's like they made this game and it's really good and they're a small studio, and it's like I'm so happy this piece of art exists because it's just and it's weird. I don't know why the blending of turn-based and real-time stuff, there's been a lot of attempts at it over the years. Like Final Fantasy had like the active time battle thing, and there's been other variation stuff, but like it's so smart to just put the dodging in real time, the dodging and the parrying, because there's just enough there that the people that are wildly detested by turn-based for some reason, there's enough there to be like, no, this is still like you have to be engaged and have to be like present and have to be like You're not auto-battling your way through this.
Thank you for the clip, Shiki. There's a man under a bridge.
Mike says 500,001 after Jeff is done streaming. It's so good. I just want to be playing that game. And like the goofiness of it, like while being like so like
it's very like sad, and just the vibe is just sad, but then there's like just goofiness to it too.
It's like very Miyazaki.
Yeah,
I would be the only way I could describe it. Of just like
I can't talk about it because otherwise I'll like spoil it. But it's just fun.
Yeah. Valerian says it feels so good to get a good parry, jump, or dodge than to pull off a successful counter. Yeah. Or like when you're like hitting a wall and you're like, oh my god, I can't get through this boss battle. Like you can be under-leveled. Or be stupidly leveled, probably in my case, and still get through, because you can go into any battle and never get hit. You just have to learn the timing of the enemies, and be able to dodge and parry. So it's pretty neat. Mike says, does it work kind of like Sea of Stars? I've not played Sea of Stars, so I can't help you there. It's on my list.
We started it, didn't we?
I started it, and then it's hard for me. Because
I even remember being like, oh my gosh, this looks so cool. Like, I want to watch you play this. And then we stopped for some reason.
It was just, I think, late at night, and there was a lot of reading. It's on my list. It'll happen.
I need to crack my back.
I know it's good. And I know it's very for me too. This looks like Final Fantasy X, the battle system does, like with the full. You can see.
Oh my god, Pancake's glaring at me because she knows I'm gonna like have to lay on the bed to crack my back. Like, God.
You can see the full like image of all of the enemies and your party members on the side, the way you can in 10, and then if you cast like slow, you can see like, okay, this is gonna move this character's movements down, so you can see the turn order even. With the exception being that like every attack coming at you is possible to negate. You can either dodge it, parry it, or there's also a jump. So I'm sorry your back isn't cracking.
It hurts.
I'm sorry it hurts.
I feel like an 80-year-old woman.
Shiki says, I love when Mike loses his mind over people not consuming certain pieces of media. Mike says it's like when you tell an old person you don't watch the news. Laren says the story feels like despair, but then it feels so good knowing that there's real reality to have hope. Yeah. And it's just like goofy and fun. Hi, Buck. Sea of Stars has also been on Sam's backlog for ages. Yeah, I've just not been in a season of my life where I've been able to play many RPGs that haven't been like part of streaming. Like this one's gonna also be very hard for me to manage. Like I'm looking at one of my busiest work weeks of the year this week, and I'm just like, I'm so into this game. You know that thing where you're just like the video game equivalent of like when you're sleepy and you have to pee, but you're like, I need to hang on to the sleepy. Like I'm so in the zone with this game, I just want to keep playing it. But then I know I'm going to go into a busy work week and not play it for a week, and then have that struggle of like, I have to like get back into that. And that's like one of the hardest things for me.
Bug will just do all the work for you.
Bug will do all the work for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work.
Set up for Free Comic Book Day.
Okay. It's all on you, Bug.
Yeah. He'll do it. He knows how.
Valerian says the story feels like despair. I read that one. Okay. Sam says Sea of Stars will happen before The Last of Us, Mike. I fucking love The Last of Us, though. It's so good.
I've been thinking about replaying it.
Valerian says, I love how beautifully cinematic it is. Same. It's so very good.
I had to pee, but now
now you're just snuggling a cat.
Chair. Yeah.
Back to Baldur's Gate mods. Vink said, of course, things get more complicated if someone's trying to monetarily benefit from it. If anything, Vink seems to see mods as vital for sustaining games. If your company, especially in games or in any entertainment field... Yeah, we read that part. He even compared the relationship between modders and studios to his relationship with Larian developers, commenting, if you want a game to live, that's the best way of doing it. It's the same with development. If I want our games to be great, I have to make sure the developers own it. If I'm going to be the one owning it, it's never going to be great because I can't do everything. I need the developers to do it. Same thing goes with the players. If the players own the game, they'll make it fantastic. Personally, I always love to see developers and studios embracing fans like this, especially when it comes to projects like Baldur's Village, which clearly took a monumental amount of time and effort to create, all for the sake of sharing free fan-made content. As Vink pointed out, mods are a huge part of many games communities. Developers are smart to embrace and support modding as a way of supporting their game's fan base at large, rather than needlessly pushing back on harmless fan-made content.
See out the window or no?
I've got to agree with the new mantra Vink repeated throughout the interview: happy player, happy business. Laren says, I love how beautifully cinematic it is. And Vince says, well, that's certainly selling me. Yeah, it's so good. It's so incredible. Mike said, stop feeding Sam until he's played The Last of Us, please. I don't know if that's a game you want to play hungry. That's a game, The Last of Us and Last of Us 2, and no spoilers because shout out to Vince, who was just in the chat. If you want to see someone playing The Last of Us the first time, he's going to be doing it tonight. And yeah, he'll be live sometime around 10 tonight. No spoiler. Yeah, no. Shout outs, no spoiler. Tomorrow night, yeah, sorry, I thought it was Tuesday for some reason. Tomorrow night, Vince will be live doing and he reached the end of the section that Celine and I affectionately call You David last week. So he just got through the David stuff for the first time, and we'll be starting at that point tomorrow night. And you, David. You, David, indeed. And so that's. Are you gonna do The Last of Us 2 immediately after The Last of Us? Is that the plan? Because it's a hard thing to explain when someone's playing The Last of Us 1, because someone will be like, absolutely, okay. So it will be, make sure you do the DLC in between the two. It's very worth doing. But like it's one of those things, it's like The Last of Us 2 is the better of the two games, and it's hard to explain to someone who's playing 1 for the first time, because they're just like, oh my god, this is one of the greatest games I've ever played. And it's like, it is. It is. I can't wait for you to play 2. Like, why? I'm having such a good time on 1. You are. Like, 2's gonna be great. Last of Us 2 might be up there, and I think one of like the greatest pieces of media ever created. It's pretty good. And I'm very excited to continue to watch people play it for the first time, watch Vince experience it for the first time, and then also watching right now a TV audience experience it, and it's been enjoyable. Laren says, I still get so upset when people talk crap about The Last of Us. I don't understand it. I don't either. And what's weird is like there's a whole subset of people that supposedly hate everything that's happened with The Last of Us post the first game, yet they watch every episode of the TV show. They play all they post in forums about it constantly. They post comments on videos. They're just like, for not liking this thing, they spend so much time and energy on it. It is wild to me. It's fucking wild. But we can discuss further. No spoiling anything in the chat for Vince, as he will get there and all shortly. Vince says, I've had multiple people at my store who hate it, or at least consider it overrated. Yeah. Well, and like while Selena was playing the first game, she had and posting about it, and she kept posting like, oh my god, like I love this first game so much, like I'm excited to keep playing this stuff, and like this is meaning a lot to me playing through this game, and because it's incredible. Then she had people commenting on, just don't play the second one multiple times.
Like me trying to find where I asked, because like I didn't even be like, hey guys, what do you think of the second game? What do you think of? And it's like, I don't. People can have their opinions, that's fine, whatever, but like to come on someone's post that they're like excitedly being like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to play the second game, like this game means so much to me now, and like I mean, like, don't do it, it's terrible, because and they wouldn't even tell me why, which
is good, and be careful, because like there's people that haven't played
no, I'm not gonna say why they think it's bad. I'm just saying, like, and it wasn't even the reason, like, I think that normally people are like, don't play it, but like...
But they hate everything about it, but it's also because they've been coached to hate everything about it. It's so weird. Sam says, real talk, I'm worried when I get to it that has been ridiculously overhyped. I get it. I get that reaction and that worry and that fear. And I would also say the ways that push it up to like when I think of like one of the best pieces of media ever are somewhat subtle. And for it reminds me a lot of Shakespeare, and like the things it's doing are not subtle. But then the complexities of how it's doing it, and like the things it's asking you to think about and push on and everything else are sometimes very subtle, in the ways that the theming all works together and stuff is all very subtle, and like it's like it's using very broad Shakespearean storytelling, but like,
bye Vince, have a good day.
This gotta bounce. Sorry again, love you all. Love you, man, have a wonderful day. Shiki says, I understand some people saying it's overrated. People haven't shut up about it since it came out. But, like, hating on a game so much for what? Like, the story crafting, the mechanics, the graphics, like, it's all well done. Yeah.
Like, again, people are allowed to have opinions, sure, whatever. Barring, like, some of the silly hate on, like, some of the actors and actresses for the show. Because then I'm just like, no, I don't. As soon as people start opening their mouth and saying shit like that, I'm just like, I don't care about anything else that's going to come out of your face if you start hating on somebody for like their appearance or whatever. But like, my biggest thing is when I like post something on my page, just being like, hey, I'm excited about this thing, and like this series means a lot to me now, and like, and then someone comes on it and just is like, like the exact opposite. I'm like, don't kill my joy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't
like,
yuck someone's yums, which is
like
Sam's favorite phrase, I say.
I'm getting on your, like, it's not like I'm getting on their profile and being like, every time they post something, like, or like looking for a post where they're talking about how they don't like The Last of Us, being like, actually, I love it, and like, you need to like, just, it's chill, it's fine.
Sam says you can also dislike a game without hating on it. People are over aggressive for no reason.
Yeah,
I think that's a big piece of the problem, and it's frustrating and it's difficult because like so much of it too of people, because it is a thing exclusive to Sony too, you have people that are like, I am man who buys Xbox, therefore everything Sony must equal crap, because if it doesn't equal crap, then why I buy Xbox?
Yeah.
And you get that too. In the year Last of Us 2 won Game of the Year, which I remember being kind of contentious at the time, and some people were real mad, and like kind of going back, and it's just like I kind of re-looked at that list, and I was just like, there's the only argument I could see of something else winning Game of the Year in because I think it was 2020, right? It is Animal Crossing. That nothing quite owned the year the way Animal Crossing did because of the nature of the year 2020. Like, there was just something so... Yeah, it's 2020. I could hear that argument. That, like, actually Animal Crossing is the game of the year in 2020 because we were all in lockdown and everybody, people were trying to get a hold of Switches just to play Animal Crossing. It's the most, like... ever, like, every chat group I was in was just like, what are we doing with fucking turnips? Who's got turnips? What's going on with this?
You broke our, like, not talking to each other to ask me what my turnip price.
Well, yeah, I had to figure my turnips shit. Yeah, so the Last of Us Part 2 only won 2 of what is, like, considered the major 5 Game Awards according to Wikipedia, and Hades won the other 3. Hades is also a very good game. I've
heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it. What's Hades?
Selena trolling by saying she's never heard of it. I love Hades. I love Ghost of Tsushima. I love the Miles Morales Spider-Man. Final Fantasy VII Remake is fine. It's fine. There is no world in which, like, any of this, in my opinion, like, I'm excited to watch the rest of the show. There is storytelling that they do in The Last of Us Part 2 that only works because it is a video game. And there's no way that the show can live up to that, because it's like, it is a thing that can only be a video game. And that's my favorite thing in any medium, is anything that it's just like, if you take this and put it in any other medium, it's going to become lesser, because it's like, it's really, not only is it doing something profound and interesting, but once you remove it from that medium and make it a TV show or make it a movie or make it whatever, you diminish the message of what's there, because it's like, it's a message that could only be told through this, whether it's a painting, whether it's a comic book, whether it's a movie, whether it's a video game. I love things in that medium that fucking need to be there. He said heavy breathing simulator. Valerian said, just like I'm so excited about the Intergalactic, the new Naughty Dog game, for the trailer and the feel of it, then for it to get so much hate and people calling it woke, like, okay, weird to say, I can't wait to play it. The whole, like, woke as a pejorative thing drives me absolutely insane, because one person of color could wander by in the background of something and people are just like, woke! It's woke! Crap! What?
The Galapagos tortoise Emerson from our local zoo died.
I know.
I loved him.
I know.
He was beautiful.
He was very beautiful.
This is what I get for picking up my phone. Like, I just literally picked it up and just looked at it for a second.
I've been dodging you seeing that news story all weekend because it keeps popping up on my phone.
Why didn't you just tell me yesterday so that I could have gotten over it by now?
Because
I've lost too much.
Oh,
God.
Sam said, completely unrelated, the new Saga Emerald Beyond DLC for Vampire Survivors is pretty fun. Nice. I've still not touched Vampire Survivors. It's a game that, like, I know I'm going to either absolutely love or absolutely hate, and I'm not sure I can handle either, to be completely honest.
It happened 2 days ago?
Yeah. I was hoping we could just wait out the news cycle and you wouldn't know. I'm sorry.
Well, of course I would have found out eventually when we went to the zoo and he wasn't there. And then you would have been like, I found out a year ago. And I'd be like, what the fuck?
Maybe he got moved to a different zoo.
You would lie to me and tell me he got moved to a different zoo.
100%.
Listen, I don't think my parents or grandparents ever lied to me about a pet or an animal going to the farm.
I wouldn't lie to you about one of your animals. I would lie to you about one that you visit once every other year or so.
Why? Why is it different? I mean, I know it's different, but like, why is it? Okay, admittedly, yes, I love our pets more than this turtle, but like, you underestimate how much I cared. I would see him every time we went.
Sim says it's really cool. They started getting crossovers with big games. Like it started off as a fan project, super inspired by Castlevania. Cheeky says, I think in a year Jeff would have forgotten. Probably.
He'd have been like, oh no!
Sim said, like a lot of character design and weapons are very Castlevania inspired. In the last year or two, they had a special DLC with Among Us, Contra, Castlevania, and now Saga. That's all very cool. Florence says, you guys are making me want to get the PS3 back out and play the first Last of Us. It's very good. It's especially good considering how old that game is. And that it was on the PS3. I also think that version of it is in some ways like because we just played through all the remastered ones, not even the PS4 versions, but the PS5 versions on stream, and it was my first time seeing all those, and it's like they were kind of buggy as all hell. So which was fine. Like they were. It's not like it's one of Selena's favorite games now. It's not like she came out of that being like but it was like there was a lot of bugs that were not present in the original stuff.
What are you talking about?
The Last of Us.
Oh, okay. Sorry. When you said a lot of bugs that weren't present, or that are whatever, I don't know. Sorry, I'm also reading about the turtle. But I thought you were talking about Cult of the Lamb for some reason, because when that came out, there was a lot of bugs, and now that game is actually like I can sit and get sucked in for a long time.
Well, I bought Cult of the Lamb when it came out because I wanted to support it because I was like, this is cool. I
thought it was still cool. I was just
so buggy.
I was getting really
first...
mad with the bugs and like that.
But they fixed all those now. Game. Yeah.
Yeah. Just that I personally was like, I can't do this. I'm getting mad.
So speaking of PS3, I need to stop playing Vagrant vs Vampire Survivors. I went with Vagrant Story. My head just filled that in. There is no one else in the world that sees VS and thinks Vagrant Story instead of Vampire Survivors, but it's me. I need to stop playing Vampire Survivors and set up for today. All right.
He had heart disease.
Yeah.
He was 80. That's like really young for a turtle. Oh, over 80 years old. So like around 80.
Yeah, he was over 80. Still a lot of life.
For a turtle.
Jeez, I need to stop playing Victoria's Secret. Yes. Box office. Sinners scores 45 million in massive second weekend. And the Star Wars re-release beats Accountant 2. We are part of that massive Sinners second weekend. About the 50th person that told me, Jeff, you have to go see this movie.
Literally, he texted me from work and was like, hey, we're going to go see this later. And I was like, okay.
I'm glad we did. Like,
yeah.
that movie's incredible.
I didn't, nobody came up to me and was like, hey.
What is up, Mello?
Watch this. I seen it advertised, but I did not see it. Like,
she said, I need Sinners to come to streaming. Will and Sherry both said it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
It's very good.
It's one of the few things, take this with whatever grain of salt, because I also know that, like, your reasons for not liking theaters. So I'm not considering those. It's one of the few things that I would say maybe find a way that you can go see it in theater. Like, find a screening towards the end where you can maybe get a screening to yourself or something.
We only had like one like group of people behind us, a group of people over towards the end, and then two people in front of us. It was actually quite like small amount of people for our local one, at least.
It's
which makes me happy, because there was this one time that we went to go see, like, I think it was one of the new Michael Myers movies. Halloween?
Yeah, from the last trilogy.
Yeah, and it was like there were so many people, and I was like having like a panic attack and like trying to be chill, but could not calm down because there were so many people. And like it wasn't like fresh out of COVID days, but it was like I was still just not used to being around people either. Yeah. And I was just like, I can't handle this. And you're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Because like it was one of the only times that that we had gone out since then, like in public.
Melissa's not really interested. I'm looking forward to Thunderbolts. Sinners is one of the like best movies I've seen in the theater, like specifically like to watch in theaters. It is a lot more musical than I expected it to be. And the music's so fucking good throughout.
Yes.
And it's just I will be thinking about the experience of watching that movie in theaters for a long, long time. It was very, very good.
She said nothing will outweigh my discomfort and anger at people who can't stop constantly making noises when I try to watch a movie. LMAO. No, like there was not kids, but like teenagers that were kind of laughing towards the beginning of the movie a little bit, and I was like, "Are you gonna stop? Is this gonna be?"
The worst was when we went on. We didn't have kids for Halloween last year, so we went to a screening of The Exorcist, and we're like, "This will be great."
Oh my god! I wanted to like crawl out of my skin. I was getting so angry
because it's like we really like this movie. We've never seen it on a big theater screen before, and sometimes some of the like, "Hey, we're gonna screen an old movie," you get like they're a little chattier because it'll be like a lot of times like.
Also, people will just assume that like people have already seen the movie, so they will do the like. I don't feel like I have to like be quiet because other people have already seen it, so they don't have to like.
So you kind of expect that like Sunday morning at 11 when they're screening like an old film, right? But for it to be Halloween night, it's The Exorcist. It's not a family movie. It was so great. I bumped into like one of my really nerdy friends that was like, "Oh, you're here too!" Like, and we had a whole conversation, and then we sat on opposite ends of the theater from each other because we both get it.
Yeah,
that's not what we're here for. It was cool to talk before the movie, and yeah, there was a whole group of teenagers that were just like, I don't think they were. In some ways, it was a fun screening because I don't think they were ready for the places that The Exorcist goes to.
I don't think they'd ever seen it,
and they were like. Being silly and mocking it and just talking.
And then it hit the point of the movie where things just like
and they immediately ramp up,
and they just left. They're like, "Oh, we gotta go," and I was like, "You know what? I'm kind of glad."
Clarence said, "I have to check out the trailer for Sinners. Never heard of it till now." Yeah, it's the dude who made the first Creed movie and made the Black Panther movies. It's his new film, and then. The dude from Creed and who played Killmonger and Black Panther and was like on The Wire 8 billion years ago because I'm old. It's still referred to him as a kid. He plays two parts, and it's like you could tell they put a lot of work into like doing like cool like tracking shots where he's playing two parts in that, so they had cameras like on Like
yeah.
Whatever mechanical thing this is. It's so cool. Mel says easy to ignore other people and watch the movie for me.
Not me. Oh my god. Even when we're at home and our kids are talking and during a show, I'm nice about it. But like it was so funny because I was watching a show with our middle kid and they were just like, whenever I've seen a show like before, I just talk during it when I watch it again because I've already seen it, and I'm like, meanwhile, I'm just like trying to like just soak in the show, and they're just like singing and like making jokes, and I'm like,
yeah,
I love you.
It's a fine line to draw between like wanting to like be. Whenever I'm like, hey, I'm turning on a movie or a show that I want you guys to experience, it's hard not to be like that, like shut up and experience it the way I want you to, you know? And like sometimes there's that thing too where there's talk and conversation that as someone gets into something dials down.
Yeah, and I definitely like, if you have questions about the movie, I'm totally like, heck yeah, I want to talk about the movie. And like, we'll pause the movie and that's fine. It's more just the like unrelated conversation or like noises that like are loud and distracting, or like I'm starting to turn over to your like, if you get up to use the bathroom, like you used to get really mad at me when we would start a movie together and I'd be like, wait a minute, like I have to pause this and go use the bathroom or blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Like I get my drinks now first and I get like my snacks and I'm like,
I'm so sorry, my brand of autism, it's like
somehow shifted over to me. Yeah, I don't get, because now I'm like, please don't pause that. Like I don't know how long my attention span is gonna let me enjoy this, so like
yeah. Like I'm in. I want to be in. Yeah. Some people don't watch media like that though. They don't.
Jiggy said it's why I mostly watch movies alone. It's like I might start doing that, but like I was like watching The Last of Us, like the first season of it, and I felt like bad for like going ahead, even though you've seen it with me like 3 times. I was like, there was just certain parts too that I did not want to experience by myself. So I was like, I want to wait for Jeff, but at the same time, I was like, I just really want to keep watching.
It'll never. I love rewatching things, and it'll never bug me.
I'm not worried about bugging you necessarily. I was just more like, this feels weird to not watch it with Jeff. It feels weird to watch it by myself.
Oh, I used to go to a lot of movies by myself too. It was like, I really enjoy it. I need to get back to probably doing it because I really enjoy movies, and it's somewhat, even in the post Movie Pass era, if you do the Tuesday movies, it's pretty sustainable to go see like things like once a week or every other week. And then it's like those like early screenings like usually are like nice because it's like not really a lot of people there, and that's.
Yeah.
But like when I was in college, all the hours I was supposed to be doing homework and stuff, I would often just like be like, all right, I'm gonna go see. Like, I saw movies I didn't even love like 2 or 3 times because I was just like, this makes me happy. I'm gonna be here in this movie theater. Movie Pass does still exist, not like it did back in the day where I could see a movie a day and it was like $10 a month. It was insane. That and the version of it now does not exist or work in our area, even for what it does. Shiki said so many people are fine with watching something and talking, and I'm like, pause it, please.
Yeah.
I think so many people like aren't. It's an art, right? To be able to talk during a movie and have it not interrupt something. You have to have like a very succinct thing that you're saying, and it has to be very well timed.
Yeah.
To be like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and then you're done. Like, not like we're having a full conversation, and it's usually in reference to the thing that we were watching together.
Yeah.
And it's timed so that you're not saying it over top of dialogue.
Yeah.
It's a very
And it's like I want people to be able to like enjoy things the way that they enjoy them, and maybe cracking a joke during a very serious moment to lighten the mood is how people enjoy things. But in my head, I'm just like,
I want to feel.
I want to feel this
without
you bringing me out of it with a joke. Like, and that's also fine too. But it's like, and it's harder to like watch something, for me at least, because like my attention span is just so all over the place that like if I'm in something, stuff like that does bring me out of it, and then I can't get back into it. I think that's just my biggest thing, is maybe I need a higher dose of Adderall or something.
Just for movie watching?
I don't know. But like there have been moments where I've taken like my afternoon, because I have afternoon pills that I can take as it needed. Yeah. And like if we're about to watch a movie, I'll be like, oh, I'll just take my afternoon pill so that I can actually like
dial in.
Yeah.
Laren says the first season Nick Offerman made me ugly cry. Easily one of the best episodes of anything I've ever seen. Yeah, it's incredible.
I love that episode and just that show in general.
Well, I feel bad because it's like it's become kind of a, because we've teenagers now, right? And it's become kind of a family show, and there in moments like that episode is me bawling, Selena bawling, and one of the kids bawling, and then one of the kids very not, and just being like, so weird you guys are. And that's fine.
Why are you guys crying?
That's an okay reaction to things. And it's a very interesting dynamic though, because there's 3 people that are just like, I'm ready to feel things.
And then the other one is just like, I'm gonna crack a joke, and I'm like, ah.
Shiki says, I'm all for discussing movies, but I would much prefer to do it afterwards. LOL. Yes, with the exception, I will pause a movie 100 times out of 100 to figure out where I know that actor or actress from.
Oh, yes. Or like if I'm trying to figure out something like related, if it's like for example, if it's like the show The Last of Us, when we're like trying to figure out similarities between the game and the show, I will pause it and be like, wait, because sometimes my brain just forgets. But I will try not to do it unless we pause it, because again, then I'm bringing myself away from it.
Yeah. But like, if I don't stop to figure out who an actor or actress is that I recognize,
it'll just chew on you the whole time.
Or it'll be gone, and it'll be like, oh, there was so.
Yeah.
What was it? I needed to make sure that and that is a big thing, because I need to know that, so that when it's a question on pop culture Jeopardy years later, I'm able to like.
I do that. I used to do that a lot with anime too, when I was really big into watching anime.
Yeah, you recognize voice actors like
instantly.
Crazy.
That was
which is crazy to me, because voice actors just they disappear into their character. Like it takes a lot for me.
But also like nuance wise, like I can just hear in their voice, I'm like, that's that person. I know that's probably weird, but like I again watched a lot of anime when I was younger, and I was really good at recognizing English voice actors for a while, and then I started watching like sub mostly, like primarily, and I'm not one of those people that's like sub is better than dub. I just on my own accord started watching subbed more, and like I got really good at recognizing Japanese voice actors too, and that was like my thing for a really long time, was I would just be like, oh my god, that person is that person, and then Jeff would just be like, I don't know who either of those people are. Like, I'm just sitting here watching this anime I've never seen, and that other anime I've never seen that you just mentioned. I don't know. Like, okay.
It's incredible though, because like I can't, like I know, like I'm playing Expedition 33 right now, and I know academically that one of the voice actors is Charlie Cox, Daredevil, and one of the other voice actors is Shadowheart. But like, they're not, to me, they're those people on the thing. And it's just like, for whatever reason, it's voice acting. It's just like, I can't.
And then I recognized their voice because I was like, who is that voice? Why does it remind me of something? Why is it causing a slight irritation in my brain, and then I was like, oh.
Shiki says I watch a lot of dub because I watch a lot of anime while I'm cooking or something where I can't 100% look at the screen. That's same. That's people be the sub is better than dub. People are always like, why are you waiting for the dub? And I'm just like, I don't have a lot of time where I can watch things and not be doing other things, especially TV.
Baby.
Yeah, he's a big baby.
Yeah. Okay, we want down. Okay.
Right, wait for me. But yeah, I would on the Sinners and Thunderbolts of it all. I wouldn't make that comparison, but it did get brought up earlier. Of like, I don't know what Sinners. I'm excited for Thunderbolts. We're probably gonna go see Thunderbolts this weekend because we're all gonna do a movie post Free Comic Days that's turned into the new tradition. I'm gonna be real. Like, I need to see Thunderbolts because it's my job. I would be more excited to go see Sinners a second time in theaters. Is where I'm at. And that's coming from, like, I love superhero shit, but, like...
I'm actually excited to see Thunderbolts, so, like, and that's new for me. Not to say I don't like superhero stuff, but a lot of superhero movies, I overthink things a lot, and so when something is, like, a superhero movie that's just, like, overhype and, like, I get weird about it.
Yeah.
So, but this one looks really good, and so I'm excited to watch it too. But I would actually be down to go see Sinners again.
Yeah.
Probably smoke some weed beforehand too.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
And we can get popcorn this time because we didn't get popcorn last time because we ate beforehand and yeah. Oh my gosh. We just did that Sunday.
That's what I'm... Well, the other thing that we need to figure out for Sunday...
Are we just going to go on Saturday?
We're talking about going Saturday night.
For Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
Okay, then Sunday morning, go see Sunday.
Well, here's the other thing about Sunday.
What?
That we need to kind of figure out, because we have the children.
They'll be sleeping.
But they're doing a rescreening of Scream.
Is Scream okay for... It's been so long.
I would do the older teenager I would take to Scream. I would not take the youngest one.
I was going to say, I don't think we can take a 10-year-old to Scream. I don't know if that's, like, ethically something I can let fly.
They've said a re-screaming, if you will. Shiki said I watched a good chunk of Raeliana and Apothecary Diaries in Japanese.
I wanted to watch Apothecary Diaries for a while.
But most anime I watch is just casual or obsessed binging, non-obsessed binging.
Our middle kid is watching something Angel, an apartment, or not an angel, or it's something angel related.
I'm sure it's something that's wildly inappropriate because we're at that age. You're like almost an adult. You can watch whatever the fuck you want.
I watched a bunch of...
But there's just a lot of like...
inappropriate anime at that age. And like...
There's a lot of like, I'm going to go watch this in this other room. Like, what? Oh, there's
a lot of like fan servicey stuff in a lot of anime though. So it could just be that they're like uncomfortable like watching that in the family living room.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's like wildly inappropriate. It just means it's like...
It was just really funny.
I watched anime in my bedroom most of the time, but like sometimes I got Strawberry Panic. I don't know if you know what that is, but it was like a very like lesbian or yuri. There's the anime word for lesbian show on DVD, and I like watched it in my living room. And then I was like, actually, I don't really know that I should watch this in the living room. Just because it's a lot of, like, fan servicey, like, Yuri moments. And my grandma would just be like,
What are you watching? The thing where, like, it could be fine for 20 whole minutes.
I might be like, remembering it a lot worse than when it was, too. But
when it hits one bad part, that's when grandma walks in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sam says, Jeff, you played/watched Tactics a bunch. If I said I'm trying... Y-Graph for the second or third time today. Do you know where I am? Not at all. But I wish you all the best. No, I've played the start of that game a whole ton. And I'm so bad at tactics games. And then I've been watching more of it since you've been playing.
Look at when I'm watching the Twitch, this is what pops up.
Yeah.
That's cute.
It is very cute. But yeah, for whatever, Sam says I'm at the soft lock level that most people give up on. Yeah, I'm not most people. I quit far before that. Because I'm so bad at tactics. I love tactics games so much conceptually. I'm just so bad at them. It sucks. Hate that I'm bad at them.
Hold on. I need to... I'm looking up what Strawberry Panic is rated out of curiosity now.
Okay. I'll start winding things down while you're looking that up.
Okay.
I might need to reorder games a bit. Oh, so you take a break in between this and the other tactics game? It's just... My brain isn't big enough with all these tactics. It's a very different thing. It's a very different thing. And I completely understand the people who like Warhammer. I love watching two people that are really into Warhammer play Warhammer. Like the tabletop game. Where they have like a table that has like hills and stuff on it, and they're bringing out like all the measuring tape every time they do something or move like a figure or do that. Like that stuff's so fucking cool for me to watch. I have no interest whatsoever in ever playing that or trying to keep track of all that stuff or keep all of it in my head. I think it's the coolest fucking thing in the world. My brain doesn't work that way. My brain is great for Jeopardy.
The
Pop
United
culture
States
trivia.
says it's rated PG.
Okay.
I don't. The DVD rating is 13 plus. Maybe I'm just remembering it way worse than what it was.
Or maybe like at the time you're like, whoa.
Probably because I was a sheltered
also,
13-year-old.
Your cats are being very adorable, by the way.
Are they? Oh my goodness! I can't even see Pancake's head. Where's? Oh, they snuggle.
Yeah, the two cats are snuggling. It's adorable.
She's like snuggling with his I can't tell, is that his back? But he's like faced one way, flopped over. She's using him as a pillow.
But yeah, I think tactics games are so cool. That my brain doesn't work that way, and it does for the first like 5 or 6 battles. I'm like, this is so cool. Why aren't most games like this? And then as the complications start to stack, then my brain just can't keep track of it all, and there's always something coming from the wings that I didn't see coming. And Sam said the juxtaposition of Lena saying she was sheltered to all the things she told us she got away with and was doing at a young age. That is the amusing encapsulation that makes up Lena, is that she was both simultaneously wildly sheltered and privileged, and at the same time wildly exposed to way too much, and had a rough go of things at the same time. I'm not sure I've ever met someone who's had quite the same packaging. Like it's very...
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like... my grandma was very much like, we need to keep you in a box, but also you can watch whatever anime you want and whatever you want on the internet. But you can't go out past 8 o'clock, because otherwise...
But feel free to talk to that grown man on the internet.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah,
go move in with him when you're 16. It's fine. You're fine. Good luck. Have fun.
There's a link to our YouTube page. We put a lot of work into it, not as much lately. I need to get on that, but post Free Comic Book Day, that will hopefully and probably happen. Grandma, what the fuck? Exactly.
Yeah.
We're gonna be heading over here, by the way, after I finish wrapping things up. If you want to give Sam a follow, he's a wonderful person. Please do. Also, Whatnot. Free Comic Book Day is Saturday. Yeah. Thanks for the shout out. I need to run. Yeah, we'll be there in a second.
Bye, Sam.
Free Comic Book is Saturday. If you're local to us, please come out. If you're not local to us, look up your local comic shops.
Come out anyway.
Get to start driving now.
Drive here.
Get
on a plane. Teleport.
Yeah, No, look around for your local comic shops. They're likely doing Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
In some ways, this could be the last one.
No, don't say that.
The company that owns the name Free Comic Book Day went bankrupt, and the place that won them an auction has said no thanks, we're actually not buying them.
I am starting my own.
Well, that's what I say. We'll always do it. I'm just saying that the official
my brain can't handle not doing it because it's a routine at this point, and it's like if you take that away from me, I'll bite your ankles.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's like we will continue to. What is up, Soggy?
Hello.
It was good seeing you at the shops on Saturday, Soggy. Thank you so much for making the visit in. Whatnot, by the way, if you click that link, it'll give you $15 free to buy comic books from us on Whatnot. But you can also use those $15 free to buy anything on Whatnot. And if you do
anything, they have plushies, they have jewelry, they have vintage clothing, they have Japanese video games and cards and soundtracks.
Yeah.
That's more than 5 things, but whatever. It's fine.
But the second you spend that $15 free, they send us $5. It's nice. Soggy says shop is great. People are great. Go to the shop. Yes. Thank you so much for coming. Also, getting to see Dad Soggy in action was adorable. That was fun. Very wholesome. All right, we are going to be heading over to Samuel. We have raid messages. They look like this if you are not subscribed. And they look like this if you are. Yes, Samuel. That's his name.
Samuel. I don't think I've ever heard you
Sincerely, that's his name.
I don't think you've ever...
I don't know if that's his full name. I assume it is. We're gonna head over there. Let me get the buttons.
Baton.
There he is. All right, we're gonna head over that way. Thank you guys so much. Be honest, be kind, be useful.
Live a fantastic life.
Yeah, live a good fucking life. We'll see you later today, probably for some Final Fantasy, but this week all streams other than the morning show are kind of subject to life could catch on fire. So
perhaps.
All right. Bye.
Well, goodbye.
I forgot about the countdown.
Okay.
Again, 5, 4, 3. Steve, Laren, thank you. Mel says he always says Samuel. Love you too, Shiki. All right, bye.
Bye.